Okay, so we may not do the coil sprung and jump straight to the airbag truck here with the back air ride suspension. No coil springs, it's all air. This is the Platinum trim package. Wes, do you know if this is a four-wheel drive truck or not?
This one is two-wheel drive only.
Okay, so it's a two-wheel drive truck, so that's probably why it has a slightly lower overall stance to it. We got the Airstream land yacht back there. Let's see if I can see the numbers on this thing. So this has a GVWR 7,600 pounds, cargo capacity of 1,216. So the dry weight on this is going to be about 6,400 pounds, roughly.
About 6,400 pounds.
Yeah, okay. Very, very cool. So this will be the next truck we take out on the little road trip towing, and this has no weight distribution. So this will be really cool. Guys, hang tight. I'll be right back.
So this is a Platinum Edition Tundra. This particular vehicle comes standard with an air ride suspension. As a result, we're wanting everybody that's driving it today to just see how well that air ride suspension controls the motion of the truck. Could it possibly ride a little bit better if we put a weight distribution bar on it? Absolutely, but it's not as necessary as it used to be with the older trucks.
Got it.
All right, what happens now because of the air ride, when you put the vehicle on here, and you can see this one has all the components in the front. We've got the tanks covered, we've got a full battery tray with the lids on it and everything. This is what you would normally see. On top of that, this one has an automatic jack. So we've put a lot of weight on the tongue of this, but as you step back and look, what you'll notice is the trailer and truck are level. That's because of the air ride. When we first put it on, it sank. Normally you'd use weight distribution bars to bring it back up a little bit. The truck does it automatically with the air ride.
Yep. And the second aspect to this, which is the part people need to realize, is even though from a gross vehicle weight perspective, this trailer is heavier than what I typically would like to tow with a half ton, I'm the only one driving it. I don't have 3 other people in the truck. I don't have my wife and kids in the back. I don't have a generator in the back. I don't have all of our bikes in the back. It's unlikely that this is going to have full propane tanks in it, right? So,
Correct.
So there are things that allow this truck to get away from a payload perspective with towing something like this, because I have 600 pounds that currently is not in this truck that might typically be in a truck whenever you're camping.
This is truly one of those situations, professional driver, closed course. It was specifically mocked up just for you to get a feel of what the Bear truck can do.
Yep, and I just wanted to make that point real quick. Wes, I definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We're gonna hit the road.
Let's take it for a ride.
Okay, so we're inside of this 2022 Tundra Platinum. And Wes is going to take a second here and kind of talk about some of the cool things that they've done to allow this truck to handle trailers a little better.
So there's several features they put in this truck. Some of them are for safety and some of them are just convenience. One of the features that I really like is this trailer light check. Most people that only tow occasionally realize their brake lights are out when the state patrolman pulls them over and lets them know their brake lights are out. What we have the ability to do now is toggle into that trailer light check. And if I hit start, what it does is the truck will sit here and cycle through taillights, brake lights, blinkers, both left and right. It will continue doing that about 10 times.
Okay.
It takes several minutes to do it, so it gives you time as
get out.
the amateur RVer to get out, walk around the truck, see if there's any bulbs you need to replace, or check the plug where it feeds into the truck. You don't need a second person helping you Friday night. Everybody's excited to go with you Saturday morning. Nobody wants to help you load Friday night.
Or unload.
And now you can do it on your own with that particular feature.
Great.
Some other features that are in here, what makes these trucks so much safer is their new sway control, and that's developed with the help of the truck knowing exactly what you're towing. So if I go into the trailer settings, this particular trailer we've already labeled as the camper trailer, but if I want to edit that information, I can go in here and select a different type of trailer. This one's listed as a ball mount, so you can select what kind of trailer you're actually carrying. As far as the length goes, which has a huge effect on sway on the truck, the Toyota will detect this automatically by using the cameras on the side of the truck. As you go through minor turns, it determines the actual length of the trailer.
Oh, that is very cool.
Right, so you don't have to set it. If you want to set it, you can go into there and set it specifically. But the nice thing about this is you've got the truck ready for your camper and your buddy just asks you to move his ski boat. You can go over and hook it up, and within a few blocks, probably, depending on what kind of roads you're on, it can detect the actual length of that boat trailer.
That's very cool.
Which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
We can also have a choice here between 1 or 2 axles, because a 1-axle trailer pushes a truck around a lot more than a 2-axle trailer.
Yep.
So this affects how aggressive the sway control tries to move or manage the weight of the trailer. And then finally down here, brake type and weight.
Okay, electric over hydraulic, you have electric, and okay,
approximate
perfect.
weights of the trailer. And once you set all that, then you can actually go in here and hit save under the name of that trailer, which we've already done with this. The truck now knows which trailer's back there, how long it is, and about how much it weighs. So as the trailer moves and tries to move the truck around, the truck will use its electronics through its ABS system to manage the brakes, manage the sway. It can straighten the truck and trailer out. So in an evasive maneuver, going around a deer, for instance, the trailer's not going to get away from you, because as soon as the truck sees that the trailer is moving the truck, it will actually straighten it. The driver just continues driving.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how it tows.
Terrific.
Thank
Have
you.
fun.
Appreciate it,
See you
Wes.
in a bit.
Yes, sir. All right, so we are off, making the same turns. Again, they definitely give you a very audible turn signal. You know, towing with the 2021 Tundra, I would say was very anti-dramatic. Again, we didn't have much of a wind, and we didn't go over any really crazy terrain. I think the worst part was just going down a grade where the trailer brakes weren't exactly dialed in the way I would have liked, and the tires kind of locked up a little bit. But this specific setup is going to be really interesting, because it is over the weight I would typically recommend. Now, the question you ultimately want to ask yourself is, what is your cargo capacity? How is that going to impact what you're towing? And right now, the way this trailer is set up dry is almost the ideal weight for this truck. Especially if you get it with a towing package, you have all the towing features. But what he's saying is that Toyota is really trying to improve the capability of the truck so it can handle trailers a little bit more efficiently. You can definitely feel the extra weight back there for sure, though. Here's a nice Grand Design. Okay. So, again, you can feel the weight, especially when you hit the throttle. It definitely feels like I'm towing something heavier, and this weighs about 1,000 pounds more dry than the trailer I just pulled with the previous generation Tundra, or the current generation Tundra. This is essentially the next generation. Handling it very well. To be completely honest with you, I don't feel much of a difference, mainly because we haven't encountered anything that would cause much of a difference. If we had like a real heavy wind, if we had, somebody that cut me off, I don't want that to happen, but if we have scenarios that really put the truck's control into question, that's really where you would know how much better this feels. All I know right now is it is a heavier trailer, I can definitely tell. The specific truck that I'm driving right now, it's handling it no problem. It's funny because the airbags, even though they're compensating for the tongue weight of the trailer by lifting up slightly, to be honest with you, I can still feel the weight of the tongue pressing down on the back. It doesn't feel like I'm not towing anything, right? So I always say it's always good to know when you're towing a trailer, and you don't want to ever feel like you're not towing anything, because that can lead to very careless and possibly dangerous mistakes. But right now, I can honestly say it doesn't feel a heck of a lot different than the other truck I was driving with. I think where you would notice a difference is if the truck has to mitigate some type of risk, like there is a sway event and the truck's sway control has to jump in, and right here's a little bit of a bump. And you can definitely tell that the trailer is pushing down on the back. There's no doubt about it. Is it doing it in a way that's unmanageable? No, not at truck's managing it no problem. It definitely feels stable. You know, if I was going over some really, really big, bad expansion joints, it might be a different story, but, you know, the truck is able to handle this much weight. But again, I would say that you're kind of at that upper end from an RV perspective of what you might want to tow with this type of a truck, especially if you were going to load that thing down, because then you'd be, you know, 7,600 pounds worth of weight. And at those numbers, that weight on the front could definitely be increased. Plus, if I had my family in here with me, plus if we had a generator in the bed of the truck, extra fuel, bicycles, supplies, things like that, all of those factor in when towing and how you feel while driving. Right now, you know, this truck is probably 600 to 700 pounds lighter than it would be if we were ready to go camping with it. But to be honest with you, you know, nothing dramatic. Everything seems to be fine right now. I'm not running into any type of weird sway issues. Again, when we hit bumps, I can definitely tell that the trailer or the tongue is causing the back to... It's kind of an interesting feel. It's not a harsh, bouncy feel. It's more of a gradual up and down, kind of like you're on a steep wave. But it's controllable. There's no problems. We're going to make a left turn here. Sorry about the very loud turn signals. And, you know, this falls still right into that recommendation I have. 6,000 pound GVWR typically would be about a 4,800 pound dry travel trailer would be ideal. It would just be a perfect setup because it would give you the excess payload capacity you're looking for after you've loaded everything up for the most part. But it would give the truck a relatively easy job towing a trailer. If you're one of those people that likes to max everything out and you're like, you know what, if I'm getting a Tundra and they say it can tow this much, that's what I want to do without going over everything, then if you can find a properly balanced travel trailer, you could probably go upwards of 7,500 pounds, probably what this Airstream, again, weighs when it's full, 7,600 pounds. You just have to be very careful. You just have to be very careful how you load it down, where you position things, and just have the understanding that the truck's going to handle different and it's going to respond slower, and it's just going to be a little bit more difficult to manage if you have a heavier wind and if you don't have a quality weight distribution hitch, things like that. You know, the way we're driving here, this is all the conditions you would want to drive in if you're towing an RV. These are ideal conditions. You're not white knuckling it, you feel comfortable, and you can typically haul a heavier trailer under ideal conditions. The area in which you want to have a vehicle that is more than capable is when you run into inclement conditions, when you run into scenarios where you have heavy crosswinds, where you have semi-trucks that are flying by you, where you're in tight traffic driving through a major city to get to where you're going. Those are scenarios that a heavier truck, a truck that's designed to handle more cargo capacity, a truck that's designed to be able to, you know, respond to what the trailer's doing more aggressively, those are the scenarios that you really understand why I make the recommendations that I make. You know, again, 12,000 pound maximum tow capacity. I don't know if this specific truck has that 12,000 pound rating. You can get it all the way up to a little over 1,980 pounds, something like that, payload capacity. This truck certainly isn't going to have that. I'll check the door sticker here in a second whenever we get out. But the reality behind a truck like this is, you know, you could probably get away with 75, even 8,000 pounds worth of trailer if you're one of those people who knows how to deal with it. If you don't care about white knuckling it occasionally, if you understand what heavy crosswinds, heavy trucks driving by you, aggressive maneuvering might do, if you understand how to respond to all that stuff. You know, I make the point all the time, towing experience and towing knowledge are ultimately what will keep you from a dangerous situation. Your truck's capabilities are absolutely up there and are very important, but understanding what to do when bad situations arise, understanding how fast to drive, how to control maneuvering whenever you get into a bad situation is more important than anything. And, you know, I think a lot of folks, again, that respond to my videos, they say, you know what, I've never had an issue. I've been towing with a half-ton truck for 30 years. Well, that's because you built the knowledge over 30 years on how to respond to things. This advice that I give is mainly tailored towards those folks who don't have a tremendous amount of towing knowledge. They decide to go camping with the family and they want to, you know, get out there and enjoy the country, and they're like, you know what, let's go get a truck, let's go get a trailer, or we have a truck, let's go find an RV, let's find the perfect match pair. And you know, certainly the dealership may not be the one to give you the best advice. I hate to say that, whether it's the truck dealership or the RV dealership, they typically aren't going to give you the best advice because they're trying to sell you a trailer, or they're trying to sell you a truck. And I'm just trying to set you up the safest possible way. And I feel, you know, this truck is very capable. All half-ton trucks tend to be very capable, but the shining star behind this truck is the fact that it gives you a lot of technology that'll help you out. At the same time, it is capable for towing within that safety rating for sure that I usually talk about. As long as you do the right things on your end to make sure you understand how to properly tow, you don't go out when the conditions are horrible, and you understand more than anything how to respond to possibly dangerous conditions. But we're going to go ahead and return back. Yeah, huge difference. Tow Plus makes this truck easily pull the weight of this trailer. It's done a really good job, and you can hear kind of the engine brake kicking in as you start to slow down and you take your foot off of the throttle, especially if you're on grade. But yep, absolutely pleased with the performance now that I have it in Tow Plus mode. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead and take this trailer back. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we will talk to you again very soon.